Hello everybody, this is JT's Sphere of Mathematics. I'm going to talk about the quadratic equation this morning. I've got one example written out here. This is 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. And we're going to go ahead and set that equal to 0 so we can solve it. When we solve an equation, basically we're looking for the variable term that will make the equation true. So 2 times x squared plus 5 times x plus 3 equals 0. What value for x would satisfy that equation? There's 3 ways to solve a quadratic equation, and we're going to talk about factoring first. There is factoring to solve the equation, there's completing the square, and then there's the use of the quadratic formula. This particular expression is factorable. To factor it, we want to take the coefficient on the quadratic term, multiply it times the constant term, so 2 times 3 is 6. And we want to think about the factors of 6 that would add up or combine to 5. Looks like there's 2 different sets. There would be 6 and 1. And then there would be 2 and 3. So let's just try and see which of those work. So let's try the 6 and the 1. To factor this, we're going to write down the 2x squared, and then we're going to break this 5x into 2 different terms, like such: 6x minus 1x, and then we're going to bring down the 3. So we haven't changed anything. This 5x is still 6x minus 1x, but now we can factor by grouping. We'll factor a 2x out of the first 2 terms. We've got a 2x. That's going to leave us an x plus 3. Bring this negative sign down. We can factor a 1. We can only factor a 1 out of the second 2 terms. So when we factor a negative 1 off of a negative 1x, we get a positive x. When we factor a negative 1 out of a positive 3, we get a negative 3. Okay, you can see that we have different signs here, so that is not going to work. The 6 and the 1 do not work. So now let's try the 2 and the 3. Do the same thing. 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 3. Go ahead and set that equal to 0. So factor by grouping. We have 2x. We factor that out, we get an x plus 1. Bring this sign down, we can factor a 3 out here, and we're left with an x plus 1. You can see that we have an x plus 1 common factor, so we'll factor that out, x plus 1, and that leaves us with a 2x plus 3. Now, what would make either of these terms 0? X plus 1 equals 0, or x equals negative 1. And here, 2x plus 3 equals 0. Move the 3. 2x equals negative 3. Divide by 2. And we get x equals negative 3 halves. I've already written those down right here. We'll leave those up there for the second example. The next example, we'll solve the same equation using completing the square.